Good morning everyone and welcome back to our online class of computer applications. Children, today we'll start a new chapter, that is chapter 6, Encapsulations. See, the programming chapter I'm not going through right now. First let me complete all theoretical chapter, then I'll move toward practical part. This is the programming part. So children, this is about encapsulations. So first of all, let me tell you, encapsulation is actually the pillar of object-oriented programming systems. As the name says, encapsulation, encapsulate, group, wrap, join together. That means this encapsulation is used to join data and method or function. Okay, so encapsulation is used to join together data and member methods, okay, into a single unit, and this single unit is known as encapsulations. The benefit of encapsulation is it hides the complexity from the user. Okay, the benefit of encapsulation is it hides the complexity from the user. Okay, so hiding complexity from the user, that is known as data abstraction. So encapsulation is what? It is the process of wrapping, grouping data and member method together into a single unit, that is known as class. Benefit we get of wrapping is it hides the complexity from the user. Okay, and when it hides the complexity from the user, that process is known as data abstractions. So encapsulation is one of the properties of object-oriented program. It is not only that encapsulation is applicable in Java. Encapsulations is used in all the object-oriented programming systems. Okay, that's why we bind together. That's why we use curly bracket and we write the piece of code over here, so that this entire part is given a name as class P1. Okay, that means this class is used to encapsulate, group together the datas and methods or functions. So understood children, what exactly is encapsulations? So now we'll move toward visibility modes required during the programming section. Okay, so children, after encapsulations, next we are moving toward visibility modifiers or access specifier also. So children's visibility modifier means the process or the way by which the members, that is either data variables or member methods, accessibles within the class, outside the class, or within the functions, how they are accessible. Okay, their accessibility mode, this is known as visibility modifier. We have four different types of visibility modifiers. Number one, public. So children's, the member is accessible from all classes. The member is accessible from all classes inside or outside the package. That means public means what you understood. The member means both data members or member methods. They are accessible from inside or outside the package. Okay, inside or outside the package. The member is accessible from all classes. If you are using 2 or 3 classes in a single program, the member is accessible in all classes inside or outside the package. This is known as public visibility modifier. So next we have private. The member is accessible only within its own class. The member is accessible only within its own class. Means the private members will not be accessible outside the class. Maybe in same package or different package, doesn't matter. It is accessible within the same class. Whereas in public it was accessible or it can accessible to different class also. Okay, maybe in same package or different package. So third we have protected. The third type we have is protected. The member is accessible by any subclasses. The member is accessible by any subclasses or other classes in the same package. Subclass, okay, or other class in the same package or any other package. This is normally used with inherited class. That means protected is used with inheritance. In short, you can say it is accessible once. From one class, the properties or the members are accessible to other class, but once they reach other class, they becomes private, further can't be accessible. So in technical definitions, we say the member is accessible by any classes or other class in the same package or different package also. This is normally used with inherited class. This is protected. Fourth, default. It is also known as friendly. Friendly. Default package. Sometimes we don't give the package name, like class P1. By default, there is a default visibility modifiers. So the member is accessible by any subclasses. Here the member is accessible by any subclasses or other class in the same package. It will not be accessible outside the package even if they are subclasses. Outside the package you cannot access. So children, once again I am going through this fourth topic. Public. The member is accessible from all classes inside or outside the package. Private, the member is accessible only within its own class. Protected, the member is accessible by any subclasses or other classes in the same package or any other package. This is normally used with inherited class. Default, the member is accessible by any subclasses or other classes in the same package. It will not be accessible outside the package even if they are subclasses. So this is the concept of these four visibility modifiers. Now see, this one I will show you in tabular form, which will be easy for you to understand. So children, see the visibility modifiers I have written in a tabular forms. First is member type, that is public, private, protected, default. Fourth type is there. Then accessibility, on class and subclass. Okay, so inside on class, first let me see public. It's accessible, 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 accessible. That means all the four, public, private, protected and default, they are accessible within its own class. That means there is no such problem for accessibility in same class. Everyone, all of these four, they can be accessible. Clear children? Now the problem is with subclass. First let us come to the part of subclass and non-subclass. Again two are there. So subclass means part of the class. Subclass, again there are two concepts. Same package, other package, means different package. Same package and different package. So in same package, except the private, private is not accessible. Public is accessible, protected is accessible, default is accessible. Okay, only private is not accessible in subclasses, same package. Now let us come to the part of subclass, other package. Subclass, other package. Default is not accessible, private is not accessible, public and protected is accessible. See, subclass other package except the private and default, public and protected are accessible. Clear, children? Now let us move to that part, non-subclass. Okay, in non-subclass again there are two categorization: same package, other package. Same package and other package. Now let us check for same package first. So public accessible, protected accessible, private not accessible, default not accessible. Okay, same technique which was followed in subclass of other package. Same non-subclass, same package. Now non-subclass other package, only public will be accessible, rest all is non-accessible. So children, this is the accessibility mode. Okay, this is the accessibility mode or visibility modifiers. See, once again I am saying you public, private, protected, default. Public accessible in all the cases. See, inside on class, subclass same package, subclass other package, non-subclass same package, non-subclass other package. Okay, now let us come to the part of protected. Protected is only not accessible when it is non-subclass other package. Rest all it is accessible. Okay, and then we'll come to the part of default. Default is accessible in on class and same package of subclass. Rest all case not accessible. Private, it is accessible in only within its own class. Rest all the cases it is not accessible. So children, visibility modifiers tell us how our members are accessible in other class, same class, okay, subclasses, same package, different package. So this is all about visibility modifiers. So see here, from here what you comes to know is that public, it has no restrictions. It can be accessible from any part, anywhere in the programs. That's why we write public static void main. Even the class name also you can give public class P1. But since we are working with single class, we give directly class P1 only. Okay, because that is accessible in on class. Even subclass and same package, we are using only a single package right now. Package is import java.io.asterisk. Import java.lang.asterisk. This is the package, collection of library functions. We are using a single package, single class and a program. That's why we can use either the default or we can use public. We are not using private and protected. Protected we can use when we are using multiple classes. That is the part of inheritance where we need to acquire the property of one class into another class. So there protected use is there. But private we give only when we want to restrict the use of our data. If you want to restrict, if you want that other class members, they should not access our property, so in such cases you can make the function or class as a private. So this is all about visibility modifier. So children, encapsulation is what you understood. It is a process of wrapping together, okay, data members and member methods into a single unit by providing a single name, that is a class name. Why we give this one? Why we do this one? Because encapsulations help us to hide the complexity of a program from the user, and so this process is known as data abstraction. Okay, so data abstraction is just interrelated to encapsulations, and to make this part, to make to hide the certain complexity from the user or from other class, we use visibility modifiers. So data abstraction means where you have to directly or indirectly take the help of these 4 visibility modifiers. Then only the program will be following the data abstraction technique. Clear, children? If you don't want to give any restriction, use public. If you want to give the restriction, check what kind of restriction you want. Provide such visibility modifiers. Okay, children? So this is all about today's topic.